Hi, I'm Cord Smith, producer at Pseudo Interactive, working on Full Auto for Xbox 360. Full Auto is the most destructive racing game ever. It's completely dynamic, emergent gameplay. It's a fully interactive world. Everything in the world you can destroy, damage, blow apart. I mean, it's all about amazingly fast cars, incredibly powerful weapons, and the ability to hybridize racing and combat in a way that people have never experienced before. We're not a kart racer. We're not cartoony. We don't have power-ups. We're visceral. We're in your face. We're raw. We're the most realistic world that we can possibly imagine at this time, and we're using every ounce of power of Xbox 360. We're really focusing on, the loud, natural, we want the weapons to be as realistic as possible. You're not going to find lasers, you're not going to find crazy stuff and plasma guns, right? We've concepted 20 cars right now, each with a very unique personality, different handling, different parameters, different weight system tuning. So you'll get a real sense that when you're driving them, oh, I'm driving the Vulcan now, or oh, I'm driving the Wraith. You can tell, both in sense of speed, etc. They also have different loadouts in terms of weapons, so you can only equip certain weapons on certain types of cars. So if you're really big and bulky, you might get the bigger weapons, but you're not going to get the pickup, you're not going to get the power slide, you're not going to get that engine power that you get in an exotic sports car. You'll be unlocking new cars, you'll be unlocking new weapons, we're obviously introducing new threats. We have a 60 event career mode whereby you kind of go through the city. The fiction is that all these events are happening in one brutal day. I mean, this is the Full Auto. This is an organized event. It's like race or die. You have to survive these events. You've got to perform. You've got to take out your competition. As you do that, we introduce new cars that are better than you. We introduce new weapons that are better than you. You have to overcome those challenges to earn those weapons and earn those cars and then continue to use them. You can go back into the game, into previous tracks with those new elements and get a completely different experience. I mean, the Garment District wouldn't be the same if you're driving with a machine gun and a grenade launcher. If you go in with a shotgun and a missile launcher, suddenly it's a whole new ballgame.
Basically, we wanted a racing game where it's very, very easy to pick up and play. At the core, it's an arcade racing game. You're on a track, you don't have to explore, you don't have to free roam, you're right in the gameplay immediately. However, within that racetrack, there's so many different things to discover. You can take alternate paths, you can make alternate paths, you can force cars off one road, you can force them into the water, you can force them into buildings. It's amazing just how deep our world is. And we've never been able to do this in other racing games. So we've got 10 weapons in the game with 3 levels each. So we've got basically 30 weapons to put on your car. You can put any 2 of those weapons on the car that you like. So what we're finding developing the game is we're experimenting with different combinations of weapons, and that lends itself to different play styles. If you want a tank cannon and smoke screen, if you're that kind of player, or if you're more about the full-on offensive with machine guns and missiles, you just pick what you like and suit your car and your weapons to your style of play. We're going to start you off with a basic set of cars and a basic set of weapons, and in the first district in the city of Staunton, a fictional city that we've created. And then what you'll do is through the career mode, by completing events and surviving them, you're going to earn more cars, more weapons, and more tracks to race on. When you go online, you're going to expose your play style to every other person playing Full Auto, and you're going to have people possibly forming clans based on the fact that, I'm a muscle car guy, or we're going up against the Importuners, and we're all going against the monster truck guys. So we're going to have a lot of people expose the depth of the game by going online. The highlight reels are a way of bragging about your accomplishments. All of your best racing moments, all of your best destruction moments and combat moments are automatically compiled into a highlight reel that you can view at the end of the race. And you can save it to your hard drive and watch it in your living room, but you can also upload it to your Xbox Live account and share it with the rest of the Full Auto community. So you're going to get people compiling highlight reels with just crazy, crazy highlight packages. Some of them more geared towards stunts, others geared towards destruction, towards this weapon, towards that weapon, and people are going to see just how deep Full Auto is.
Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about the technology behind Full Auto, and basically the areas that we think we're innovating in and the areas that we're pushing the envelope. Okay, so I think there's the 3 main areas that are fairly new or innovative in the technology right now. Number 1 is physics, and I think the main aspect that's really innovative there is we have a very cohesive system that governs the entire world. So everything you do interacts through the physics system, and that gives a player an unprecedented level of agency and power within the world to do whatever they want. So everything is destroyable. Everything responds physically. The physics affects the gameplay because things fall over you. You can shoot missiles into a building, and the building will tumble down and crush your opponents. The other areas that we've innovated in are the unwreck, which is basically being able to go back in time. This is a little bit like Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, but in the racing genre, and I find it's really nice to be able to go through a race and take a lot of risks, and if you barely miss them, be able to undo that and go back and try them again. The final area that we're innovating in is presentation, and that goes beyond just graphics. I think a lot of it is the overall dynamics of the game, the way in which everything moves, everything reacts, and everything responds. Right now, the graphics are at a fairly early stage, especially the lighting, because we're working on non-final hardware, and we're looking at kind of the core gameplay strengths, core aspects of gameplay. But I think we're going to push the presentation way over the top. It's a very intense game, and we're going to make it so the player really feels like they're a hero by doing good camera shots, by doing over-the-top visuals, high contrast, HDR lighting. We're doing, of course, HD 1280 by 720 full screen anti-aliasing, which is, the image quality is going to be unsurpassed.
Downloadable content for sure, and for all those live users, oh my God, yeah, get ready. Full Auto is going to rock live. I mean, we've got 8-player support at least, at minimum. We've got arena modes, we've got the racing modes, we've got pursuit modes, we've got mini games. I mean, you can get on live and have a blast. If you're not on live, you should be, but if you're not on live, offline, you'll have 4-player split screen, and you can go to town. I mean, Full Auto is a party in a box.